5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. The hills have long been considered a heaven for peace, tranquility, and natural beauty. People from across the country and even from other parts of the world are drawn to the hills in search of fresh air, scenic views, and an escape from the chaos of urban life. The rise of tourism in these regions over the past few decades has brought economic benefits and new opportunities to many local communities. However, this growth has also come at a cost. The increasing number of tourists in the hills is causing harm to the environment, disturbing the natural balance, and slowly eroding the very beauty that draws visitors to these regions in the first place. One of the most visible impacts of rising tourism in hilly areas is the strain it places on natural resources. With more people visiting every year, the demand for water, food, and energy has gone up significantly. Many hill towns are not equipped to handle such high volumes of consumption. This leads to over-extraction of water from natural springs and rivers, often leaving local residents struggling for their daily needs. The increase in demand for food and other goods has also resulted in overdependence on transportation, which in turn contributes to pollution. Another major issue is the generation of waste. Tourists often bring with them a disposable culture, leading to the accumulation of plastic bottles, food wrappers, and other non-biodegradable waste in forests, riverbanks, and mountain trails. The lack of proper waste management systems in many hilly regions means that this garbage either ends up being burned, which pollutes the air, or is dumped into rivers and valleys, which pollutes the water and soil. The picturesque landscapes that once symbolized purity and calm are now increasingly dotted with litter and pollutants. Construction is also on the rise in these regions to accommodate the growing number of tourists. New hotels, restaurants, guest houses, and roads are being built at a rapid pace. While these developments support tourism, they often come at the expense of forests and natural habitats. Trees are cut down to make space for buildings, and hills are carved to build roads, which increases the risk of landslides and soil erosion. Natural habitats for birds and animals are being destroyed, leading to a decline in biodiversity. The balance between human activity and nature is being disturbed, and the damage may be irreversible in some cases. Tourism has also led to a rise in air and noise pollution. Vehicles carrying tourists emit large amounts of smoke and fuel waste, especially in high-altitude regions where the air is thinner and more fragile. The once quiet hill stations now echo with the sounds of horns, engines, and loud music. This not only affects the environment, but also disrupts the peace that many travelers come looking for. The increase in traffic congestion and crowding has also made life difficult for local residents, who now face longer travel times and limited access to services. Another important concern is the changing lifestyle and culture of the people living in the hills. As tourism becomes the main source of income, local traditions and ways of life are often modified to suit tourist preferences. This can lead to the loss of traditional knowledge, customs, and practices that have been passed down for generations. Local artisans and craftsmen may be forced to change their products to match market demand, which can result in the disappearance of authentic cultural expressions. The cultural identity of these regions becomes diluted over time, replaced by a commercial version designed to appeal to outsiders. Moreover, the increase in tourism has also led to a rise in real estate prices and living costs in many hill towns. Local families find it harder to afford housing, land, or basic services because of the rising demand from outside investors and tourism-related businesses. This economic pressure can push locals out of their own communities, leading to social imbalance and resentment. In some cases, the profits from tourism do not benefit the local population directly but are instead captured by large businesses or investors from outside the region. The natural beauty of the hills is also affected by the physical wear and tear caused by over-tourism. Popular trekking routes, waterfalls, and viewpoints are often overcrowded, leading to damage of footpaths, trails, and vegetation. The pressure of thousands of feet walking over fragile terrain causes soil compaction, which affects plant growth and increases water runoff. Wildlife is disturbed by the presence of too many people, and many animals retreat further into the forests. Or avoid these areas altogether, affecting their patterns of movement and survival. Climatic conditions in the hills are also being affected due to increased human presence and activity. The deforestation and pollution caused by tourism contribute to changes in rainfall patterns, increased temperatures, and the melting of snow and glaciers. These environmental changes make the region more vulnerable to natural disasters like floods, landslides, and droughts. The same mountains that were once considered symbols of stability and permanence are now showing signs of fragility and change. The tourism industry often promotes the idea of responsible or sustainable tourism, but the reality on the ground is often different. While some efforts have been made to control waste, manage tourist numbers, and protect the environment, these measures are often limited in scale and poorly enforced. The need for stricter regulations, better infrastructure, and greater awareness is urgent. Tourists themselves must be made more aware of their impact and encouraged to travel in ways that are respectful to both nature and the local population. Education and involvement of local communities are essential in preserving the beauty of the hills. When local people are empowered and included in tourism planning, they are more likely to protect their surroundings and culture. Ecotourism and community-based tourism models, if implemented correctly, can help strike a balance between economic benefit and environmental protection. However, this requires commitment from all stakeholders, including government agencies, tour operators, residents, and visitors. Stop.